Welcome. So, in the previous part, we were heading on over to Rykard Minoris, and we got interrupted on the way, didn't we? Got a new character in the group, which I think is the character from the first bit of DLC for Rogue Trader, I think. Not 100% on that. Let me know if I'm right there. But, Rykard Minoris. Oh! Interrupted again. Lord Captain. Sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wershurian's voice? In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. End the dialogue. Okay, what's going on now? Eventually we'll get there. Eventually. Maybe. Depends what happens during this, I suppose. There could be a mutiny happening again. Oh dear. 97%. Everyone. Again, it's always that last few percent. Now, what you got? What's going on? Speak. Yes. This is not the conduct of an officer. There are antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Okay. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a high-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avril Vent requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. Yeah. I don't feel number 3. Like, clearly it's urgent. We need to pay attention to this. So I will listen, but I do agree with this idea of, like, you may speak. But I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having 2 officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I am sorry, Lord Captain. I thought the drastic times called for drastic measures. I'm not just talking about you. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted, and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Oh. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Saucerback. Was it Saucerback? Yeah. Sourback. Yeah. Who is standing not far from him, but she maintains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wershurian. Yep. And to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Well, we don't want that. We don't want that. No. Where does the Seneschal come into this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way of things as they are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. Her ship, you say? Her ship? It's my ship. Anyway, you were far too heavy-handed. Seneschal. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in depot number 4, to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. We'll go with Abelard. What do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests on your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower deck, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. Yeah, I'm inclined to go with this. I am certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions myself. To preserve you, Lord Captain, I thank you for your support. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself and see to the expedient resolution of the incident. We're heading there. Let's go. We've got a lovely group here. Like, they are required, I assume, which is why they're there. Right. Well, obviously I'm required, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Lower Decks! It's a good Star Trek show. Good Star Trek show. Would recommend. Feels very, very TNG. Understands Star Trek enough to get the humor right. Okay, go to the side of the conflict.
None shall stand in my way.
Oh! Oh dear. They threw acid at you. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes, I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. The people dared to disrespect a senior officer. They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here. If the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. It is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up the chain of the command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say it again. It was a mistake to come here on Lieutenant Vent's whim, Lord Captain. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer. But, in the name of terror, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter. And she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. Yes, we do. So is this some kind of like Abelard affinity mission or something?
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you.
Oh. Okay, the sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master-at-Arms, Sourback, who has arrived clad in armor. Judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order, now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. This is my deck and my sector. So long as the area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Your Lordship. I want to speak to the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. At you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Yes. Are we going this way, Aishu? Based on the fact you moved out the way, or are you taking us somewhere? It just seemed like we were going on the lift. But no. Anyway, we'll head this way. Are they down here? Ah, there they are. A dozen pair of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Hello? Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned dead forces are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to hold bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, and all because of those enforcers. Oh. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Veg is the only officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks, and who grew up amidships and has no fellow feeling towards us. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Abelard, do you have anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedoers. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Sarbak, was it necessary to torture these people with cold? The rabble understands only one language, Lord Captain. That of violence. As per regulations, should the laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water, which is almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and the need for punitive measures will disappear. We were attacked on the way here. How to explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limits, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top-deck units are being sent down here. Like that one there that Lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off. But the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've had just enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who'd risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Okay. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and glances traded between them reveal that news of the attack has shocked them. Ah, okay. What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us bildrats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if the cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need for them? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damn amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before. All because we dared to speak out. My. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. We'll lose 1 profit factor. So what's this? Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapons into the untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. I don't want to go coercion. I'm gonna go with this. Even though, like, one profit factor less. It's a representation of the relative value of the rogue trader's warrant of trade, and what opportunities and resources it can call upon. I just feel like it's gonna be beneficial long run. I'm not sure on that. There's just a feeling like this is gonna come back to help me at some point. But I don't know why. Maybe like a gamer's instinct? I don't know. Fine, I'll give the order for the enforcers to be withdrawn from the sector, and you will be given weapons. Let's see how you cope governing yourselves and what difference it makes. Okay. Abelard's face turns stony as he clenches his jaw. He looks at you, his narrowed eyes glittering with anger. Good riddance to the executioners. Freedom for Depot 4. All hail the Lord Captain! All hail! You can count on us, your lordship. We'll find the cultist foulness, if any of our people have taken possession of it. Yeah. Very well then. Someone did say there is a button you can press that'll show all, like, the lootable boxes and stuff that are around. So let's see if we can find one. Well, we need to find one so we can test that, because I know there is one in Baldur's Gate 3.
Victory awaits!
Oh. I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please, give us a moment. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtow to the disloyal rabble. Worse still, you put weapons into their hands. Now we do not simply have an untrustworthy mob in the hold. We have a mob that is armed. Next time they decide to start an uprising, it will be far bloodier. That is, of course, if they don't accidentally wipe themselves out first. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valancius Protectorate? I'm going to say there is some truth to your criticism. That is a possibility. I should say so. You simply needed to trust me. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever set one slippered foot onto the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Yeah, let's not forget what happened to her. I mean, here's like the first option's gotta be pretty much what I want. Remember that if maybe Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard the ship now, and I will not repeat her mistakes. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. Needs must, mate. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. Go right ahead. The prosperity of the von Valancius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision in my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture new worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredible reckless venture. Lord Captain, Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly everything that had been built up over the years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on that planet. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come to a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Again, I think it's a come back with that point. I want to come back to the point like, yeah, she followed the procedures and that resulted in her death. Clearly, times have changed. Like, these ones I don't like 4 and 5 here. I don't like number 3. I don't want to dismiss his ideas and his recommendations. I want his insight, but I may not follow it. This feels too harsh in the opposite way. So yeah, it's like, I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and rogue trader. Accept it and start living in the new world. A world where Theodora is gone and where you and I have new decisions to make. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. Good. He recognizes what we've taken from this scenario. I hope. And now, please let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch his legs, there are 4 more suitable places. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Again, it was that case of like, I was off on my way somewhere else and something interrupts. It's like, yeah. I do like that we had that aspect though, because it's like, yeah, we need to address things that are happening on the ship, and I like the idea of like, maybe we'll do it differently. Because again, it just comes back to that point where like, she did things a certain way and it resulted in her death. We need to at least try different things. The Emperor wills it after all. Oh, we leveled up. Let's see here. Okay, so obviously, like I said, we're going to go with the thumb ones first. So we've got joint analysis. Until the operative's next turn, their allies' attacks also remove exploits. Ooh. And deal plus int bonus. More damage. Well, I don't like that because of how we're doing things, which is removing exploits in order to bring about exposed weakness. So having the idea that they're going to be removing exploits with the joint analysis, no, I'm not on board with that one. So, for the next attack against a target affected by an exploit, that target's cover efficiency will be reduced by all that. And this attack will have all that. Hit chance. So, yeah, that feels better. Although, what are these ones? Like, I don't know, yeah, it's just what's this one? I don't want to remove them that way. Like, again, it's, yeah, that exposed weakness just feels too good in terms of what we're doing, so it's a case of precise attack feels the correct out of these ones. Although we do have these options, don't we? Like Firestorm down here. But now I'm going to go with the precise Maybe we should go with a more damage-based one. Is that damage? Offensive features? Offensive, support, universal, archetype, origin, warp features. What's blocking me from getting this? Ah, I see. Okay, so ooh. Huh. Just the idea, like, additionally, if the target is an ally, so we can put it on an ally, every melee attack that the ally makes inflicts burning damage on targets of their attack. While they themselves now only suffer half burning damage from now on. It's like, that could be useful. We've got Firestorm. This psychic power can only target creatures suffering from warp, burn, or burning, which we can get from, can I actually see my skills? I know I can get it on them. I'm gonna go with the precise attack. It just out of everything right now, that's something I'm more happy with. New dialogue options. I like the idea of tech use. It just seems like it has more versatility. Yeah. Right, so because of that distraction, I'm actually going to end this part here, and in the next part, we'll actually maybe see about actually heading to where we were trying to get to. Maybe we'll actually get there. Rykad Minoris. Yeah. We'll see about that in the next part, maybe. Ta-da for now.